I want to introduce you to a great project that's happening in Africa. It's called the Rubanda Soccer Project, and it's in Uganda, East Africa. Take a look at this picture. Look at what these guys are doing. They're trying to build a soccer field out of what really looks like a moonscape. The project is being managed by Juna Amagara Ministries, which is a registered NGO in the Republic of Uganda. It's also a 501c3 not-for-profit corporation here in the US. When people think of Africa, they often think of it as one place. In reality, it's more than 56 countries, and it's so big that other countries can fit within its borders. Countries like China, United States, Eastern Europe, all of Italy, all of India, and all of Japan. It's huge. Uganda is just a tiny little country, almost dead center into the continent. It's a landlocked country, bordered by South Sudan, Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, and Congo. Rubanda is the place we're having the soccer field built, and it's in the far southwest corner, near Kabale town, really not far from the border of Rwanda. Uganda was named the top tourist destination in the world for 2012 by Lonely Planet, and the reason is the country has a lot going for it. It is on the equator, and the equator is just a yellow line across the road, but it's a magical place. Lake Victoria is also the source of the Nile River, and it flows from there all the way to the Mediterranean. Not far from where the river begins, there are some rapids, and it's a very active place for whitewater rafting. Uganda is also known for its mountain gorillas, and you can take mountain gorilla treks into several locations in Uganda, and this is a big silverback who is fairly typical in the wild, and you come very close to these creatures. There are also mountains to climb if you're into that. 14,000 foot high Rwenzori Mountains have snow on the top. They're at the border with the Congo. There are wide savannas and national parks full of animals, hippos and elephants and giraffes. And in the southwest corner of the country, the land is very volcanic and very hilly. The hills have all been terraced for farms, and in the middle of it all is a beautiful lake. Lake Bunyonyi is over a mile deep, tons of fresh water for people. It's all clean. It's a beautiful place. And the people are beautiful as well. They have great spirit, great sense of humor. They're happy to talk to visitors. They're easy to get along with. Uganda's suffered for many years under the AIDS epidemic. Over 30 years of people dying left more than 880,000 orphans without any means of support. There's no government welfare, and children would pull together in child-headed families where a 14-year-old may be the head of a family of 4, and their job every day was to survive. It's an awful existence. There's no school involved, and there's really no hope for the future. And you find these kids all around. I mean, you see the strained look on their faces. They're dirty, they're sickly, they're lethargic. The young man on the right is lucky because he's able to live with his great-grandparents. That man on the left is 95 years old. The boy takes care of the parents, and the parents take care of him. But his parents and grandparents are dead. That's why we founded Juna Amagara Ministries back in 2004, under the guidance of this man you see here, whose name is Ben Tugnerwe. The ministry started with 14 kids in a rented house, which was equipped and staffed all in about 6 weeks. And we knew that if they wanted it that much, that we in the U.S. here should get behind them. And we have. And these are some of the kids who are in the program today. You can see they're happy, they're smiling, they have no stress on their faces. They're happy dancing, and they have school uniforms on, and they're happy with each other. This is what we're going for. We decided to expand into a place called Kishanje to build a learning center a few years ago, and the local people pitched in, and they are doing all the work here. This is the building we ended up with, and there's over 250 kids who go to school here these days. There's no electric power. There's no electric lighting. There's no telephone. This is really out in the middle of nowhere, but these kids are getting an education that is equal to the best education in the country. Here's some of the people that helped build that place a couple of years ago. And here's my daughter who got a chance to open the first classroom in 2008. Last year we came across a place where we had a new group of kids in the town of Rubanda. This is the Moroli Children's Care Point, which is actually a primary school. And when we were there, they sang and danced for us. You can see their school uniforms. And this man, Norman, off to the right, is the headmaster. We asked Norman, what could we do? If there was anything we could raise funds for, what could we do? And we expected him to say, oh, build us offices, build us classes, bring us a clinic, and then whatever. What he said was he wanted a soccer pitch. A soccer pitch, which in the British vernacular means a soccer field. Here are some of the kids that are at the school, and the ones in the group that you see are really the kids that we're supporting now. And this is a typical classroom. The land is uneven, it's very rocky, but what Norman said was if we could bring him a soccer pitch, we would have a place for community gathering. It would be a place of hope for the kids, and they would get exercise, and they would learn teamwork, and they would learn skills. It would be a place of joy in a town which is still ravaged by AIDS, where there is really very little joy and there's very much sadness. And it would be a place of pride and really a gift from God. So we asked Norman to put together a plan, and it seemed very reasonable. So in January of last year, we visited him and we actually got the thing started. We started it with one soccer ball, and when 4 people showed up, the soccer ball showed up, and then about 50 other people showed up. Pretty soon we had about an hour's worth of activity just kicking the ball over those field of moon rocks. And in the end, we had this little group shot of people who are the ones who will benefit from this project when it's finished. To start it off, we had this man named John with a hammer that sludges about 30 pounds. And he is the guy who breaks up the rocks and builds the fences. And he's the one who is going to actually clear those fields of rocks. He's an immensely strong man. And remember, there's no power tools, there's no bulldozers, there's no real means of doing hard labor except with the strength of your back and your arms. This was January. And in February, the men began to tackle the hills, and you could see the size of the rocks and the amount of rubble that has to be cleared away. This is March. They're still working away, chipping away at the hill, and they're still moving rocks. They're trying to get things smoothed out. Figure there were about 30 men working 10 hours a day for about 8 weeks, and they worked for about $1.75 a day and food to do this work. By April, we had some sod patches down and the start of the field and the grass, and it was done in time that the rainy season could come and sprinkle the seed and actually get some grass growing. So here are the kids at the beginning, and you can see just the rubble and the uneven ground, and these are the kids who are going to benefit from this project. And here are the kids now with the field nearly finished. You can see in the back here there's still a pile of rubble, and there's still some rubble here, and they're working on clearing that away. But look at how they've chipped away at this hill and this hill and this hill back here to make this field a reality. They're going to make it happen. By opening day, July 16th, 2012, we're expecting over 1,000 people to attend. The Ugandan women's national team will attend and train. They'll get a brass band from the local college. People will make lots of speeches, and we'll distribute a lot of jerseys and uniforms and shoes that we've collected. And there will be a lot of singing and dancing. And boy, if you can make it to Uganda and come that day, that would be the day to show up. So far, we've got the construction funding taken care of, the big pieces through individual donations and some grants. We figure more than 18,000 man-hours of labor have been put into this project. And we've gotten lots of donations of jerseys and equipment. That is really not a problem, but we do need continued funding. We need to complete the project. We need goal nets, and we actually need to build the goals. Norman will have those welded up in Kabale town, but he needs funds to do that. We need to maintain the field. And you know the way they mow grass in Uganda is they take a kind of a machete that has a bent end on it, and they swing it back and forth to cut the grass. There's a lot of grass on that field. We're hoping to get them some manual lawnmowers, and those cost money. We also want a tournament endowment, so this place, which is going to be the center for soccer or football in the area, is going to have lots of attention, lots of opportunity to run tournaments. Think of the effect on all these kids. I mean, really, they're going to be learning sportsmanship, they're going to be learning how to organize things, and none of that exists right now. We also want to put together a fund for scholarships for kids, and anything that's left over we're going to send off for expanded orphan support. Now, if you ever want your name on a sports field, the naming rights are available on this place until the 16th of July. The cost is $5,000. We'd be happy to take your money and make a sign. Just let me know if that's what you want to do. So follow the project. The website is rubandasoccerproject.homestead.com, and we will also have a page on Facebook. Follow the project. Go to the website, you'll see progress, you'll see the donations, you'll see the things that are happening. We're so excited. This is a project that's going to change the culture of this part of Uganda and will be in place for more than 100 years. The people are so excited, and I invite you to come and sing and dance with us on the 16th of July.